Well, welcome back, everybody, to Sideline. We had a little technical issues in trying to get this episode 3 going on, so we're starting a bit late. But this is the real episode 3. I am again joined by Blake as well as Jonka. Don't stop, Patriots fan, the guy for a lot of NFL things, as you see right there with the Pats. Champions,
Super Bowl champions.
New England just got themselves first in the AFC East, but speaking of that, we're going to talk a lot of things. Of course, the Miami Dolphins, as this is going to be a South Florida-based type of football type of podcast. But we do have to go on to what we saw based on relevancy. Monday Night Football madness. The Bears trying to get over the Commanders. They were able to do it by 1, which I think is like the second game in a row they've been able to win by 1 point. But the most important one out of this case, for Jonka's case at least, the reason why the Pats are number 1 in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills unable to even get a grasp against Atlanta, and the Falcons winning at 24-14. Atlanta in this one 3-2 going throughout this season through week 6. And the Falcons, I honestly thought Michael Penix for prime time, pretty good game, 250 yards, a touchdown. And Bijan Robinson, probably the biggest story outside of Drake London. Robinson, 170 yards rushing. One of them an 81 long touchdown run, which I believe the first ever run beyond 40 yards game for Bijan, which I got to look back at the stats. I really don't believe that stat NFL-wise, because in Texas, he was like up and down the field nonstop. But apparently, they let him out the gates, 170 rushing yards. Drake London, 158 receiving yards with a touchdown. Defense was not a big thing for Buffalo, but then also on the other side of Buffalo's offensively, this was not the best Josh Allen game. 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, completing 15 of 26 throws, only 26 attempts throwing the ball. And there was a lot of times where these interceptions, potential game-winning drive, keeping the game alive. The Falcons with the interception to close out this Bills team, who, again, only put up 14 points. Some of the Dolphins have not done, the Falcons have done for really, I think probably the first time in like years that these two have matched up, because it's a very rare AFC-NFC matchup. But, Jonk, I want to start with you, though. Yeah. For the Bills themselves, because when you look at the entire 4 wins that they've had, it's against teams that are basically, at this point of the season, either 1-5 or haven't even won a game.
Yeah.
Do you think the Bills, contender-wise, especially losing like this on Monday Night Football, is there a big or is Buffalo Bill in trouble here? What do you think?
I think they could be in trouble, and I think it might get worse than it does get better, because just look, I mean, this past game last night, it was basically I think it was James Cook having 17 carries only, and I think Josh Allen only had 26 attempts passing. What is that? Like, what is that? You're not, and plus you were down 21-7 in the game at the half, and then Drake London, by miracle of God, didn't step out of bounds before crossing that goal line, which would have made it 28-7, and I think that would have been game over. I don't think Buffalo would have come back from that. I mean, they could have been back from 21. So, but like, I don't know what's going on. I think they just got back Ed Oliver last night, and it didn't go well. They're still missing Matt Milano, who's obviously a really good linebacker, but still, like, it's not working out right now. I think they have a lot of injuries on the defensive side. But I think the one thing that I told you before the season started, and you thought I was crazy.
I did.
The receiving core is not what I told you it was going to be. It just looked so plain that I was just like, bro, I know Josh Allen is a miracle worker, but he's not a god.
He's not. I mean, again, like with Shakir and Coleman, you would assume they would be lights out all the time, every single week. But this case, They barely even found the ball.
I was assuming second-year Keon Coleman to take the next step and maybe be that one for him after, obviously Diggs left and no more Amari Cooper, no more Gabe Davis. So it's like he doesn't really have that number one option. And yet we're seeing that as like, okay, yeah, you know what? Since you have nobody that can beat us up top, all right, we're just going to play close and then basically just dare you to throw the ball now since you have no really good receivers left. I mean, everybody's like, whatever, you know. There's not really like a defined receiver on that team that is like, okay, I'm the top dog. So I think the teams know that. And plus, they can't stop the run. You cannot stop the
Absolutely.
run. And
Yeah.
let me just tell you this right now. They play. I'll tell you this right now. I have the schedule here. My God. Thank you. They played funny enough, the Panthers next game. Boy, my boy Rico Suave might break the rushing record. Bro, he might break the rushing record. I'm not kidding. Then he plays the Chiefs, bro. Then the Dolphins, which I think the Dolphins could win that game with
That's saying a
Achan.
lot from you. That is saying a lot from you.
I think with Achan and with Ollie Gordon, bro, you control that time of possession. They will not be able to stop anyone. And then you play the Buccaneers, and then boom, then they play the Texans and then the Steelers. So it kind of goes downhill from there, like easier for them. But like these next 4 games, oh man, it can really make or break their season, especially with my Patriots having kind of like an easy 4 game stretch before we play Tampa Bay. Oh, bro. Oh, I could be cooking right now, baby. I'm feeling it. I'm sizzling. You can see the aura coming off, baby. Super Saiyan. I love it.
Oh my goodness. But Blake, your thoughts on this though, man. Is there a real concern in Buffalo? Or again, a 4-2 football team, are they still contenders?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really have any worries, mostly because what we saw was a 4 or 5 man pass rush for most of the night was actually able to get to Josh pretty consistent. I wasn't able to watch it live. I went back and watched highlights and then a lot of film. I have a buddy that has all 22. He pays for it, the psychopath. So I watched some of it. They were doing really good at keeping contained that when they were getting the pass rush, which is something the Dolphins very much seem to struggle to do, which is keep contained when they pass rush. The only thing I'd be worried about is if you can't get your defense healthy for the playoffs, because Matt Milano hasn't been healthy for a while now. When Matt Milano plays, he's, I think, almost inarguably a top 3 linebacker in the NFL. He's that good. He makes that much of an impact for that team. The wide receiver issue, they had it last year, and he looked just fine.
Mm-hmm.
The wide receiver room hasn't gotten worse, hasn't gotten better. It's the exact same, which you could say that means that they took a step back because your goal every year should be improve in every position group slowly. Do I still think that the Bills are the best team in the AFC East? Yeah. Do I still think that the Patriots beating them was a bit of a fluke? Yeah. But I'm not worried. I'm worried as a Dolphins fan that Josh Allen still is probably another decade. I'm worried about that. But about the Bills and Josh Allen, I'm not worried at all. These games happen. We when the Patriots went undefeated and went to the Super Bowl, the Giants had a 4-man pass rush that got to Tom Brady the entire night. It happens. Sometimes you just go against a pass rush, and now this Falcons pass rush isn't, the 2007 New York Giants pass rush, but if they get to him, no great or all-time heavenly quarterback looks good when he gets pressured by 4 pass rushers. None of them ever have. None of them ever will. So I think they'll just figure it out on the O-line. I trust the Bills coaching staff, and I trust Josh Allen.
You don't think losing now Joshua Palmer, like their receiver room is kind of like now I am gonna say they didn't have Kincaid in the game, so he's like one of their primary targets. So I will say maybe that was a reason why it was kind of hard to get going offensively, but still losing Joshua Palmer now is like kind of a hit. Kincaid would be now dealing with injuries. You're like really like, okay, like this is a problem. But at the same time, you only gave James Cook 17 carries. Like, my guy.
I think that was a lot of a rhythm issue because they couldn't find a rhythm. When you look at the Bills are one of the best second half teams in football. They have been for a little bit now. If they get a rhythm at the end of the first half and can go into the second half, plan 15 plays, and then jump off that's when they're terrifying. If they can't do that, then you can get to them. If you can contain Josh Allen and not allow the 2 big plays to happen, you will win. That's historically how it's happened against the Bills. James Cook getting 17 carries, I think is a great number for him.
Yeah.
I think 17 for James Cook is what he should be getting every game with a 16 to 22 number. When you have an all-time great quarterback and you're not a run-heavy offense, I think that's where your running back should be. Now, the total carries in the game should be around 25 to 26, but yeah, I'm not worried. If you look at them, John, and think there's some stuff that worry you, I get it though. At the same time, I would understand being worried about the Bills. I would have to see a bit more before I'm worried.
And again, this is a game 24-14, Atlanta winning it. Atlanta, not the best team right now in the NFC, but definitely a team to look after, because I think this win, we talk a lot about the Buffalo side of things. That's how we open up this podcast. But the Atlanta side, where you have a division where, again, you share with the Bucks, you share with the Panthers, who Carolina's on a roll after beating the Cowboys. Unfortunately, Daniel's not here to hear that. But either way, so this one is a big eye-opener, I would say, definitely for a lot around the league, whether you're a Falcons fan, whether you're that of a Bills fan. But in the sense of Buffalo, should they be worried on my side of the story? I don't really believe so. I still remember that week 1 win against Baltimore. Comeback type of win. That's the type of team that we're expected deep in the year, right? Whether that's week 1, this week, this team, you can never bat an eye because they will come back against anybody, against any talented team defensively. But this is an eye-opener in the sense of what Josh Allen can do late in games. We definitely have seen many times where he gets lucky, where you have him roll out to the left, my apologies, to the right rather, in a straight line, and just someone's got to be somewhere and throw it. Like Ajonka said, King K not being there. These options are not at the moment available to him. I don't know if Coleman's going to be, Pro Bowl guy. Shakir's going to be Pro Bowl guy for him, for that type of receiver.
I'm happy to tell you Coleman's not a Pro Bowl guy for him.
Not a Pro Bowl guy at all.
Keon Coleman gives me the vibes of a Mac Hollins. I'm not going to lie. Just super big, athletic, and physical, but just not the guy.
Yeah, and I was beating this drum about 2 years ago. I mean, John would tell you that I thought the Bills were going to take a step back because the receiver and offensive pieces, they weren't really there. And I didn't think that they were all going to be there just because Josh Allen has him and Dalvin Cook. And again, Dalvin Cook, hell of a back, one of the better backs in the NFL. But speaking of which, I do want to go down the line again, just be pretty quick, going through week 6 of this season. And we could talk about plenty of these games. The London game, Broncos-Jets, Broncos on top 13-11. That game, New York had a chance to come back in it last minute. They have yet to even get a win this season. 0-6. Steelers destroying the Browns 23-9, a future Dolphin opponent. We will talk about that later on in the show tonight, as well as the Patriots over the Saints. That one, again, I'm not very impressed about Spencer Rattler or anything like that, but I know Jonka ear to ear smiling about that because the Pats are on a roll. Rams over the Ravens, 17-3. Ravens looking like basically the Miami Dolphins at the moment. Colts over Cardinals. That one a close game, closer than it should be for a lot of people seeing that one. Seahawks over Jaguars, 20-12. Panthers, 30-27. Game-winning field goal. And again, Rico McDowell over 200 rushing yards. Over 200 rushing yards for the second week in a row. Raiders over Titans, 20-10. Buccaneers over 49ers, 30-19. Packers over Bengals, 27-18. Chiefs over Lions, 30-17. And I do, because this isn't really on the rundown, but I do want to talk about this because I was very much like over everything from Sunday Night Football. The scuffle from Branch and Juju Smith-Schuster of Chiefs Lions. I don't know exactly what they were saying. The Branch, apparently Detroit Lions defensive DB, has been suspended for a game without pay and said that he was being bullied by Juju Smith-Schuster in the Kansas City offense. I kind of doubt it. Patrick Mahomes replied saying that, we play basically between the whistles, nothing after, extraterrestrial stuff. Blake, I'm curious from your perspective about this, because obviously this is, a Dan Campbell team, biting kneecaps type of team, physicality, don't take any BS from anybody. Him disciplining Branch, even saying in a meeting that I like Branch, I love Branch, but that is unexcusable. What do you think this means for Detroit? Because again, Kansas City 3-3 beating out Detroit, but is there something going on in that locker room where it's like they expect to win every game and that's where the emotions came from?
I don't know. It's kind of weird because what we've seen from Dan Campbell teams is they're actually very well behaved. They're extremely well behaved for being so aggressive and physical. They don't get a lot of unnecessary roughness penalties. You don't see something on, TikTok or Instagram the day after and go, what on earth is he thinking? Doing some stuff. I really think this is just an outlier. Like you see it sometimes, like when Travis Kelce went off on Andy Reid during the Super Bowl. Like that's not something Travis Kelce's ever done before. It's not something I expect Travis Kelce to do. And Branch has been a good safety in the NFL for a while now. Yes. We all know who he is, even if you're not up to date with we're all AFC guys. Even if you're not up to date with the NFC, everyone knows Branch. He's a good safety, and I think this was maybe walking back from huddles and stuff, and they play a lot of robber over there. They'll play man on the boundaries and put a robber, and Branch will play robber a lot of time there, which I love that type of defense. You have to walk past the receivers a lot, and I'm going to guess there might be something that I personally don't know that's going on in his life, and Juju did and might have said, and that got to him. But I'm not, that's just an assumption. That's no way what I think actually happened. But no, I don't think there's something to worry about. I think this is something that, the Lions look back on when they get eliminated in the NFC Championship game for the second year in a row and go, oh, yeah, you guys remember when Branch punched Juju in the face and then threw him to the ground when Juju ran back at him when Pacheco was holding him? I think that's what that is. Like, I could be wrong. I undersell a lot of things, so.
No, that is true. But, I mean, Jonko, your thoughts on this, though? Is this more of a single thing? You think something's going on in Detroit where it's like, the expectation to win? You think it's – you even think that Juju Smith even said anything? Because I know he used to dance on logos all the time on TikTok. But besides that, I don't even think that Juju has a bad bone in his body to be bullying on the field.
The vibes I get from Juju is I think he's cocky when he's winning. And I think he kind of did that last night. And I think it kind of ticked off Branch a little bit. And Branch was like, you know what? Like I think a lot of people are already sick of the Chiefs. And I think it got into his head a little bit. And that's what happened. And Juju being of all people, shouldn't be talking because I wouldn't. To be honest, like you're winning, just win the game and just walk away.
Yeah.
It's a regular season game. You beat the Lions, but I don't think there's much there. I just think it was just in the heat of the moment, and then it just ends up happening. But yeah, I know it's kind of like not the answer you're looking for, but I just think it's just like. Football players, they were talking crap, and then things happen. But there you go.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. They hate each other. You know what? Put them in an octagon. That's what needs to happen.
We need to put Branch in an octagon right now. Actually, better yet, let's put Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott in an octagon. Why not?
Oh God, don't ever do that.
And speaking of which, because I didn't mention this game specifically when I was doing the quick breakdown of every single thing that happened on Sunday. Because Thursday Night Football, which feels like a million years ago now, Giants over Eagles 34-17. Philadelphia with 2 straight losses now went into East Rutherford, New Jersey, not New York, New Jersey, and like the Sopranos, got shot up 34-17. This was a big Scatterboo game. Obviously, he ends up going out with that 3 touchdowns, 98 rushing yards, which I think is probably his most impressive game so far in his overall career. Whether that's Arizona State. Or even now, this is overall the best Scatterboo game I've ever seen. But I'm curious if you guys' take on this game specifically. I know it was a little while back ago, a little bit off the beaten path. But, either one of you jumping on this, what do you see more jumping out to you? Giants or Eagles? Which one?
I'll go first, John. I am very pleasant to say the Giants. I had Giants as the worst team in football tied with the Saints. I did not think the Giants were good. Dude, there's playmakers on that team. They got playmakers. And they won this game without Malik Neighbors. Shout out my fantasy team. They won this game without Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart has been thrown into the hellhole to start his career. He's been awesome. He's been really good. Cam Scatterboo, I think he's the type of running back every single team wants. But you almost have to game plan around having a running back like that because he wants contact early to try. It almost like gets him going when he gets hit. It wakes him up. Like Devon Achane, when I watch him, if he sees an open gap early in the game, that's how I know he's on for the game. Even if he doesn't break a run, he gets tackled 2 yards after. It's the opposite for Scadaboo. Scadaboo wants to see a tight gap, and he just goes one-on-one with the Mike backer in the B gap and lay him out. That's what he wants. I think this Giants team and an NFC East that, there could be 2 playoff teams out of there, and I wouldn't rule out the Giants. I wouldn't. Because if you can keep up the type of games they're playing, which I'm going to be honest, the Eagles is a bit of an outlier with how good they played. But if they could, like we saw Brian Daboll take a Giants team to the playoffs and be competitive. And Daniel Jones really sold in that playoff game against the Vikings. But I don't think Daboll's a bad coach. And I think he has a quarterback that is similar to Jones in athleticism, but I think has way better arm talent. And so now he has a physical runner with a quarterback with arm talent that he can move out of the pocket. I really think this team would any of us be shocked if this team, as of right now, with how they're playing, finishes with 9 wins? I wouldn't. Oof. I think it'd be awesome if they did, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I would push for 7 over 9. I don't know about that. I would push for 7 over 9. This is right now a 2-4 Giants team. Again, talented, big win, but 2-4 the bottom of the division as of right now. Jonka, your thoughts on this? Is this, again, as Blake was saying, I don't know if you want to piggyback on it, is the Giants a team to look after at 2-4 right now?
The Giants team to look at.
It's a tough one. It's tough.
It is. Because he has the aura, though. And with no Russell Wilson.
Bro, do you see his eye black?
I think if they had Malik Neighbors, yes. But as of right now, I'm going to say no. Just for that fact. And I think Jackson Dart has been playing incredible. But at the same time, I think he needs to cut back on those QB runs because he's taking way too many hits. And as we know as Dolphin people, it just takes one and you're out.
Yeah.
And we don't want that situation happening for any player. So I would try to, if I'm Daboll, I was like, tell him, hey, yo, listen, I understand you like to create some crazy plays or whatever, but just chill the F out, all right? Like you're like the next, you're the thing for the future. So just protect yourself. And I think they're going to use that first round pick and get another receiver, to be honest. And I think it might be Cornell Tate from Ohio State. So I think that's what they do. Malik Neighbors and Cornell Tate with one, I think I'm saying this right, Wandale Robinson with Tyron Tracy and Scadaboo. That offense would look, I'm not going to lie, dangerous.
Very.
Yeah, Wandale's been awesome with Malik out.
And then I think they also have Jalen Hyatt, who has been whatever.
Yeah.
I think he might get traded, to be honest.
Who knows, him and maybe even Tracy, because, I mean, I thought that Tyron Tracy was going to be a piece, but with Scadaboo now doing his own thing in Singletary, I mean, who knows? That might be another guy on the chopping block for trade deadline coming up pretty soon. But
if Tracy can raise his stock up before the trade deadline, I could see them maybe getting a 4th round or a 3rd round pick for him. Maybe use that for maybe just to move up in the draft or something. But that's the only way I see them getting rid of him. But if not, I mean, he's a solid maybe RB2, RB3, and if somebody gets injured, you can always see he's been a starter, so he's definitely useful.
Definitely useful. But I do want to stick in the NFC here because this is, and honestly, probably the biggest shock about this game that I'm going to be talking about right now between Tampa and San Francisco. Besides the Baker stuff, Mac Jones over 200 yards passing through a first half, ridiculous. I did not expect Tampa to win this one going through the first half, but they did control their own ride going through the sales. This is Baker Mayfield's team, obviously. Baker Mayfield, as we know, the former practice squad defensive tackle with the Carolina Panthers. His story has been insane to see for the past few years, coming from Heisman winner, first-round guy, first-pick guy for the Cleveland Browns to taking them to an AFC championship game and then getting thrown away to the dogs of the NFC South. And somehow he's found himself on top of the division with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1, winning it 30-19 against the 49ers. MVP chance. out there. Is Baker Mayfield the front runner for the MVP? Blake, I want to go with you first. Do we have a front runner here in Tampa?
Yeah. If voting, if you had to do voting today, Baker wins it. I pulled it up. He has 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 1 pick, and he's 5-1.
Jeez.
You don't have to say much more, but it's also what makes me go, oh, it'd be Baker is. You remember the Chiefs last year kept winning all the tight games? Yeah, he's doing that also. He's doing game-winning drives. He has 3 game-winning drives through 6 games, which is insane. I'll be honest. I don't even know who you put second right now.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
I'll be honest. It's Baker's award to lose through 6 games, and let's be honest. In a season where you play a total of 17 games, you're through a decent amount of the year already, and you're very much the front runner. So, if I don't know what his odds are, there's betting odds to win MVP. If it's plus money, I'm buying. I'm in. I'm all in. Not all in, but I'm in. Like, I'm not hedging that bet. That's what I'm saying.
Jonathan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, remember, guys, diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Baker Mayfield right now is the front runner. I don't know by how much the gap is. I really don't know what the gap is right now. But I have to agree. I think we can all agree. Maybe I don't know. I haven't heard Brandon yet. He's a little bit quiet over there about Baker Mayfield being MVP. You said I don't know who will be second. I think second. Man, I mean,
he's gonna say Drake. I'm gonna leave.
I think it's between. I don't know, man. Because I don't know what other. Who else is like no running backs are really doing anything. No receivers are really doing much. So it's gonna have to be a quarterback like usual.
I don't mean to cut you off, Jonathan. Baker's plus 425 as of this morning.
Wow.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
Wait, but who's second in the odds? If you know,
second in the odds is Patrick Mahomes at plus 225. Baker's fourth in the
odds.
Guys,
what are we doing here?
Number
Pat
one's
Mahomes
Josh
MVP.
Allen. Number one's Josh Allen.
Vegas said that,
bro. Yeah. That's like, wow. Is this like? Was this made today, or was this made like before this past weekend?
It was made. It was written last night and posted today. That's Sports Illustrated posting that.
What do they know that we? What do they know that we don't know? Because
that's
at this
gotta
point,
be AI.
Hey, Vegas always knows something, man.
This is insider trading now because there's no way that makes any sense.
Hey,
that's gotta be
I'm not gonna lie. I don't mean to get off topic.
Numbers.
I love Matthew Stafford plus 1,500.
Yes, that would be my number.
Bet.
That was actually, I'm telling you right now, because again, besides Baker, and I get the record's a huge part, especially when you look at MVP voting in the NFL specifically. I love the dark horse Matthew Stafford at his age getting an MVP finally with the Rams. I love the fact that we have that story in the NFC because I honestly do believe these two will meet up in the NFC playoffs in the postseason. But again, I would say right now, Baker Mayfield, definitely the guy. I mean, when you take a hit to the head, you got to get up, make sure you guys know, the fellas know, all pumped up. The crowd knows that you guys are ready to go, amped up. This team is amped up. Tampa is amped up, and I am hyped right now.
Could you have a better face of your franchise than Baker Mayfield? Like, maybe not for PR, but like he gets up, he's talking shit to linebackers right after they lay him out and he goes for a run. He goes, gets a big first down against the Eagles, jumps up, he's throwing the first down around, he's screaming like, oh my God, sorry. I'm pumped up. I'd love to have him as my quarterback, man.
Okay.
I almost let it fully slip. My fault.
Nah, man. Just remember to don't fucking curse on this thing, okay?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm trying to be professional, man. I'm trying to get clips.
Does anybody have any new news on Puka? Because I feel like without Puka,
he's not out indefinitely. It was something with his foot. He could miss next game, and that'd be it.
Yeah. Who do they play next game?
As of right now, what we look at from again, this being now week 7 for the Los Angeles Rams, it appears. Let me double check if this is accurate.
At Baltimore.
Actually, my apologies. October 19th,
they just
Sunday.
Baltimore.
They play against the Jaguars in London, a 9:30 kickoff.
I don't think he plays.
I don't think he plays again. Make the trip alone.
Yeah, at
It's-
Jacksonville.
Yeah, it'll be a hard trip to go over to Jacksonville 2.0 because that's what the London games are at this point, Jacksonville 2.0.
Mhm.
But speaking of that, next week coming up for the Miami Dolphins, we obviously from our main podcast on Plug Talk Sports on Mondays, which again happens at 10 p.m. on Mondays, we dissected that entire Chargers Dolphins blunder of 46 seconds, which really is a whole section of the season. For the Miami Dolphins, they have gone through basically the last 2 weeks or so and had one play decide if they win or lose, and it's always become a loss. So for the Miami Dolphins, that could have been probably a winning team. They're now 1-5, going up against another 1-5 team in the Cleveland Browns. And this is a flip of the coin type of story here to give you an idea. Let's compare the categories between the Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins' total offense in category 26th ranked in the NFL, passing offense 21, rushing offense 27, scoring offense 18th. Scoring offense for the Browns, a team that has yet to even get past 20 points at all this season with Dylan Gabriel as now the starter for them. 32nd, dead last scoring offense in the NFL. Follow that with a 27 rank. Dolphins are like one rank better on total offense. Passing offense at 26, rushing offense at 28. Basically, only 4 other teams are worse. And then you look on the other side of the field, the defensive side of the ball, Dolphins. And this is pretty funny, though. Total defense, 30th. The Browns. And this is a stat I honestly don't believe, because when you look at a 1-5, 1-6 team, you don't believe that their total offense, total defense is number 3 in the league. Passing defense, number 7 in the league. Rushing defense, number 3 in the league. I mean, this is a bend, don't break, huge physicality team on the defensive side of the ball. And it shows as a top 10 ranked throughout passing defense and rushing defense. Guys, this is going to be one for the Dolphins that I truly believe they will lose because the defense has always figured out the way to lose. And more importantly, the offense, this might be, in a weird way, the biggest test they've had offensively on the road in Cleveland. Either of you guys can jump on this. Do you believe, and again, as I said before, a top 10 defense in the Cleveland Browns, despite the one win throughout the year, do you think it'll be enough? Or does Miami's defense have a chance with Dylan Gabriel starting to really take advantage of this?
You can go, Blake.
Okay. We lose disgustingly. We lose pathetically. We go to what is that now? 1-6, right? 1-6.
Hypothetically, to lose
Nice,
if we lose
nice.
the Browns, yeah.
Bet your mortgage on the Browns. Bet your mortgage. But take out your child. Take loans out on your child's name. Bet on the rest. No, I'm kidding. I'll be honest. They have Myles Garrett, and I expect Myles Garrett to get to Tua the entire game. So I actually genuinely would say I'd pick the Browns. And that's really depressing to say.
It is very depressing.
I think Quinshawn Judkins is going to run for 5,000 yards. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to attempt 23 passes. He's going to complete 19 of them. He's going to throw for 205 yards, and he's going to have a touchdown, no picks. And the Dolphins are going to lose 24-20.
Another one possession loss, according to Blake. John, what are you thinking?
I'm going to piggyback off of Blake here with Quinshawn Judkins, bro. Like, I've been looking at his recent games. September 14th, he had 61 against Baltimore. Versus Green Bay, he had 94 against Green Bay. He got 82 against Detroit, at Detroit, and then he had 110 recently against the Vikings. Buddy, listen. And I mean, let me just read this off to you. This is their running back room. Quinshawn Judkins, Jerome Ford, Amani Marshall, Dylan Sampson, and then Raheem Sanders.
Shout out Dylan Sampson, by the way. He's really good.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he's from Tennessee, right? Correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bro. If they can get the running game going, which I'm expecting that to happen because it's based off what I just saw this past Sunday, it is the case. This might be a murder. If Tua if Tua, Achane, and Waddle cannot get something going, this might get really bad. I'm not even kidding you. Like I'm dead serious. This could get like really violent. Is this a Hard Rock or is this a Cleveland?
This will be in the cold of Cleveland.
My carajo, yeah, guarantee it, buddy. Guarantee. Oh, Brandon, guarantee. This is gonna be a 100% loss. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm really
It can't
sorry.
get any
bro.
worse. And again, I truly do believe in this Dolphins team because if you're trying to tell me that we actually have to go defensively against a team that the offense actually sucks this time, because usually for this Miami Dolphins team, it's like we didn't believe the Colts were good. They ended up being a good offense. We didn't believe the Pats were good. They ended up being a really good offense. This is the first team, and I understand the defensive issue in the sense of going against Cleveland, but this is the first team the Dolphins will play this year where the offense of the opponent is like the weakness. You know what I mean? Like there's not a star quarterback. There's not a star O-line. And maybe Judkins, sure. I think the rushing yards are definitely an issue. There's been more than 140 rushing yards given up per week at this point by the Miami Dolphins throughout this year. I believe if Anthony Weird's going to save his job, it's going to be in Cleveland. If not, I don't even know who's going to get fired next. I doubt it's going to be a Dolphin coach of any kind because the Titans head coach just got fired after a 1-5 start, and that's them rebuilding. You know, I can't imagine what happens in Miami. But either way, though, again, that one being a 1 p.m. kickoff, and that one in Cleveland, Ohio. And the Dolphins currently, I believe it's 2.5 the line right now. Dolphins 2.5 underdogs, and total of that game 40.5. In other words, do not take the over. Do not take the over in this one. And speaking of, let's go through predictions. We obviously just talked about Dolphins Browns. We thought 50-50 here, or rather 2-1 Browns going over Dolphins. I'm going to do 3 major games on the slate itself. I want your guys' opinions on this real quick and fast. Speed round to go through these last few minutes of the episode. The Unk Bowl. Steelers against Bengals. Joe Flacco against Aaron Rodgers. Is it 2008? What the hell is going on? I'm going to go with Blake first. Blake, what do you think of the prediction of this one? Who's the winner of the Unk Bowl?
Real quick, sounds like my childhood game though.
Yeah.
Give me Steelers 27-17.
27-17. Steelers trying to be 5-1. Jonka, what are we thinking?
If Trey Henderson does not play, Steelers win. But assuming that Trey Henderson does play, I got Bengals winning 21-18.
This is in Cincy, right?
This will be actually, my apologies. Yes, in Cincinnati, 8:15 Thursday on Prime Video.
Gotcha.
And then the next game I have, this one's going to be honestly more of a America's Game of the Week type of thing. This will be Commanders Cowboys, 3-3 Commanders, 2-3 and a tie. Dallas Cowboys. This one will be in Dallas. Jonko, with you this time. Who are we thinking for a game of the week on Fox, which probably is the most regular thing in October, of Cowboys Commanders?
It's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be, man, if the running game continues to be how it is and the Cowboys not stopping that run, Billy Boy Merritt is gonna probably go rush for over 100 yards, maybe even more. And I think the Commanders will win that game, unfortunately, because I'm sorry, Daniel, if you're watching this.
Blake, what are we thinking? You think Cowboys finally win on primetime?
I'm not sorry. Commanders by 1 million. I picked up Merritt for fantasy this week. Need a big week. Give me Commanders 28-24.
28-24. I will say this. I do have the Cowboys winning this game. I like the idea where you're playing at home, America's Game of the Week. Commanders coming off a loss against Chicago late. I don't know exactly what it does for you mentally, but this will be a rivalry game. After that, maybe a statement is made. And especially for the Cowboys, maybe they make a statement after losing against Carolina. But now let's go to my opinion, the game of the week. Monday Night Football, another doubleheader, which I have to say I hate the doubleheader idea on primetime. Why even do it? Why even do it? Hopefully Chris Fowler's on this call. Buccaneers on the road against the Detroit Lions. 7 p.m. ESPN. This is probably the hardest decision. Guys, I'm honestly going to be full through. Let them bake. Let them bake. I got Tampa winning this one. And if I wanted to put a final score, let's do 30-21 in this one. I got the Buccaneers on the road on Monday Night Football against the Lions on top. Jonka, what are you thinking?
I think this is going to be one of those games where just based off of what we saw with the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to happen the same thing where what we expect is not what's going to happen. And the season continues to be a roller coaster of emotions. I'll take the Lions to win this game. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a shootout, but I maybe 28-24.
Okay.
I don't know if Ibuka's might be. I know Mike Evans is not playing, and Ibuka might not play, and Chris Godwin is still dealing with some injuries, so that might be. So just watch out.
Give me the Lions. I think the Lions have been saving up for this game a little bit. I don't see a blowout, but I could definitely see the Lions score 17 unanswered at one point. That being said, it's going to be high scoring because for some reason, most Buccaneers games are high scoring, even though I've been told that the defense is good. You know what? I'm going really high. I'm going 35-31 Lions.
Oof. That's going
to be fun to watch if it's 35-31.
Who's the leading scorer for the Lions? Who are you predicting to be the leading scorer?
Leading score fantasy or like point scoring?
Yeah. Like who's gonna score more touchdowns?
Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs, because they're gonna go outside zones and Jahmyr Gibbs is gonna destroy them.
I love that idea. Good for
if you can keep your runs away from Vita Vea, you can run against the Bucs. So
yeah, and Vita Vea, I mean, again, they also talked about in the 49ers game on the broadcast of CBS where it's like, man, they try to avoid him every single run, every single play, and it's for good reason. But
he's the best tackle in football.
As of right now, it looks to be the line of the over-under total 52.5 for this Monday Night Football game. Tampa Bay underdogs. And I'm telling you guys, we can never see eye to eye. I got myself Dolphins. I got myself Cowboys. I got myself Buccaneers. And I got myself, the Steelers. We agreed on the Steelers. I think that's the only game we both agreed on. But you two had the exact same thing going on. I mean, Commanders on top, Detroit.
I DM'd him before the show.
Yeah, we're like telepathically like connected. We're just like that.
Now, guys, locked in. We're also locked in here again with Plug Talk Sports being that of Sideline. I will chalk this down so that way we have some QR codes and maybe a little late in the year, but get a little record game before the end of the regular season. That is going to do everything for this episode 3. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening in. Obviously, technical difficulties from the first one. This one was a really good episode, 45 minutes through. We'll see you guys on Tuesday for next week. So have a good one. We'll see you guys in the next episode. And don't forget the other podcasts around the entire Plug Talk Sports family. Jonko hosting one, Blake, a hockey one-timers. And, of course, we got courtside for the NBA coming up on Wednesday, 8:30. We'll see you guys then. You guys have a good night.